Good morning. Trying to get the good morning replay viewers and live viewers. There we go. There it focused. That's our truth bomb for the day. Love the necessary hard work. Hey, good morning, everybody. Good morning. Good morning, Cynthia. Hi, Mom. Maybe a little after 11 for your session this morning. Good morning, Betty. Hi, Catherine. Did I see Michelle come in? Good morning, Cindy. Hello. SJB Creative Art. Awesome. Love it. I thought I saw you. Hi. I feel a little behind. I got distracted with gardening plans. If you plant your seeds for plants that grow above the ground in the light of the moon, they do better. And if you plant the things that grow below the ground in the dark of the moon, they grow better. So I got to looking at the moon charts and figuring out what we're going to plant and when, because we need to get our little seeds started like now. I was at the grocery store yesterday. Cauliflower was $4 a head. $4 for a thing of cauliflower. And I was like, whoa, we got to get our shit together and get a garden going, because that is ridiculous. Crazy for cauliflower, right? So my name's Michelle Wolf. Right here, you can find me at caddyshackdesigns.com. Everything that I do is across the top, right there. And everything I do is designed to help you increase the level of happiness that you can tolerate in your life. Because we do these things, we start to feel good, and then we tend to sabotage them because we don't know how to handle happy. So that's what we do. I feel like there was something else I wanted to tell you. Oh, goal setting. Goal setting's been on my mind a lot lately. Wow. Because we've been talking about it, and I have a level 2 desire map workshop going right now. Let me just fluff here for a second. And it's all about goal setting and doing it a little bit differently. My goodness. So what was on my mind this morning about goal setting is we think that if we set a goal towards something, first of all, if we're doing it with law of attraction principles or whatever, that it's not going to still be hard work. It is still going to be hard work, which I was reminded to talk about by pulling this truth bomb today. Let the necessary hard work, love the necessary hard work. It's still hard work, but you're happy while you're doing it. It doesn't mean you don't get tired. You do get tired. I get tired. Doing a daily Periscope broadcast between 30 minutes to an hour and 15 minutes sometimes, it's physically tiring. But I love it. And it's the necessary hard work for me. And doing all the reading I do, doing the planning for workshops that I do, it's hard work. It's necessary, and I love it. So it doesn't mean that goals are, cake and pie easy. It's still hard. It's not hard like going to a cubicle for 10 hours a day, 4 or 5 days a week. The other part about goal setting that I want to talk about, and then we'll get to our books, our Tao Te Ching book, because this is in line with those principles, with how to let life reveal itself to you instead of you bashing life over the head with a hammer all the time, which doesn't work. Hi, Roseanne. When we set a goal, we think, okay, I'm here and I want to get over there. And to get over there, I have to let go of what I have right here. And that's not it at all. It can be much more inclusive than that. You don't have to give up here to get over there. You actually have to accept here, and then life will move you over there. And you don't have to scrap and struggle so hard. So we think that... So everyone's trying to lose weight or get money, right? Acceptance. Yeah. It's both. It's both. You can't reject. So what happens is we reject what's happening here because we want so much to be over there. So we reject our bank account balance. We reject how much money we have or actually don't have in the moment because we think we have to reject the present reality in order to get over there. And it's opposite. We have to accept the present reality in order to get over there. And you don't get over there. You just become what you're thinking of as over there. Over there is not a place. It's in you right now. And life reveals itself to you when you accept the present reality. So if I think I want to lose 20 pounds, so I'm going to reject the part of me that's gained weight, then I'm never going to lose that 20 pounds. I'm going to gain 20 more because I'm fighting so hard against the present reality of what is. If I flip that around and think, I want to feel strong again, I want to feel a little lighter, and I'm okay with where I'm at right now, I hold the feeling of where I want to feel, how I want to feel, how I know I feel at a slightly less weight than I am right now, then I just automatically seek exercise. The impulse to exercise comes about by itself rather than me going, you better take a walk today. If you don't take a walk today, then you're not going to reach your goal. And that kind of thinking and backwards thought processes has never worked for most women I know. It's a militaristic kind of hammer down approach that tends to actually keep us stuck. Yeah, it backfires. It actually keeps us more cemented where we're at and keeps over there perpetually, perennially over there. So we never get there. Does that make sense? Like you don't have to reject one to have the other. You have to accept one to have the other. It's both. It's your current state of reality and the reality you're going toward. It's both. Smash those together and figure out how you want to feel at the end of it and start feeling that way now. Okay, there you go. That's your prescription for the day. It's both. It's fat and not fat. It's poor and not poor. It's all of it. You're welcome, yo. Let's talk about the Tao Te Ching from Ursula Le Guin, who's so awesome. She's such an awesome translator. Oh, we're on number 60 today. Staying put is today's. Rule a big country the way you cook a small fish. Okay. If you keep control by following the way, troubled spirits won't act up. They won't lose their immaterial strength, but they won't harm people with it, nor will wise souls come to harm. And so neither harming the other, these powers will come together in unity. Okay, that sounds a little bit like what we were just talking about. Keep control by following the way, the middle way, the non-labeling, the do-without-doing way. Good morning! Troubled spirits won't act up. They won't harm people, and wise souls won't come to harm either. And so nobody harms anybody, and everything is unified. So her notes say, Thomas Jefferson would have liked the first stanza. Troubled spirits are kwei, Kwei, ghosts, not bad in themselves, but dangerous if they possess you. Whaley reads the second stanza as a warning to believers in realpolitik. A ruler possessed by power harms both the people and his own soul. Okay, right? That's true of any criminal. Any criminal harms his victims and himself, or her victims and herself. There's plenty of women criminals. Women just tend to not get caught as much. And when women get caught, this is true. When women get caught as child abusers, they tend to get away with it longer because no one wants to believe a mom would do that to her kids. So they get away with stuff for a long time. That's changing a little bit, but it's a slow process. Good morning, Nina. Yeah. Gang members used to When I first started doing this work in the 90s, used to always have girls commit the crimes as much as possible, because when girls got caught, oh, you're fine, I'm late. When girls got caught, they tended to not get sentenced. The cops would let them go. Judges would let them go. They didn't get as many consequences, so the guys would have the girls do the work. Not nice. By stopping a criminal, by stopping a Trump, you actually help him. Stopping people from hurting you helps you and helps them. It is terrible. It is terrible. That has changed in the juvenile system, or it had in Colorado. By now, girls get equal consequences as boys, so the boys don't use them as much. They don't shift the load to the girls as often, because now girls get caught as often and get held as often. So, yeah. If someone's this is the Byron Katie thing, where you still set boundaries, but you do it from love. You don't roll over and let people victimize you, because to let them victimize you, you've become a collaborator in the victimization of themselves. As they're hurting you, they are also hurting themselves. Does this make sense? Like, you set boundaries for yourself primarily, but you're also doing it as an act of love toward the other person, because stopping them from hurting others helps them. Yes, you don't participate in your own abuse, and you don't participate in letting other people abuse you, because then you are contributing to that cycle that hurts them as much. Just as much, if not maybe more. I don't know. But I do know that you still don't take any shit. Let's just bottom line it that way. You love people. Correct. That's correct. You love them, and you still have boundaries, but other people don't have to know it for us to live it. They don't have to know it. We can still do it. Don't take any garbage off of anybody. You look at your part in it, and you use it as self-investigation. You use it as personal knowledge. At the same time, you set limits. And you decide what you will and you won't live with. So, too many people misinterpret this as, if something is happening that's I consider bad, then I just have to allow it to happen, because that's the most loving thing to do, and that's not it at all. The most loving thing to do is to draw a boundary and hold it. That's the sacred no. A sacred, righteous no is holding a healthy boundary against someone, for yourself and for their sake. So taking it as a counsel to the individual, it might mean that wise souls neither indulge nor repress the troubled spirits that may haunt them. Rather, they let those spiritual energies be part of the power they find along the way. Wise souls don't indulge or repress troubled spirits. They let those spiritual energies be part of the power they find along the way. At a certain state, when you're investigating and playing with energies and different energy streams and the feel of different kinds of energies, and we label those sometimes as angels or guides or ghosts or whatever we put it, however we describe it, at a certain point you are able to allow all of it to be as it is. So they're saying there that they don't fight against or repress any energy. They recognize, at a certain level, you recognize that it's all energy, and you can take that energy and use it and leverage it. You can allow it to just flow through you. That's not the case in the beginning, and if you feel like you need to defend yourself, then do so. Do a little ritual, hold a stone, smudge your area, do whatever you need to do to help yourself feel safe, with the understanding that at some point you won't feel the need to defend against those things, because you'll understand that everything is just energy. That's way out there. It takes a lot of work. Sometimes I can pull it off, and sometimes I can't. Sometimes I can accept when I feel someone sending me negative energy or they're dwelling on me in a negative way, and I become aware of it. Sometimes I'll do a little blocking ritual or whatever, but a lot of times I practice going ahead and pulling that in. It's a little bit like Tai Chi. When someone's directing their aggressive energy toward you, you take it in and transmute it and flow it out, or you shift to the side. You become like water. Water absorbs and takes it into the hole. If I don't feel the need to defend against someone's negative energy coming toward me, I can just let it go on through. Or I can take it and make it part of me. And transmute it, so to speak. And that's all just mental games that we play with our words. But we can just absorb it, and then that's what they're saying. Like you see it. Yes, a lot of practice, and I don't always manage it. Some days I feel really like I need to defend myself, but that's what they mean by they let those spiritual energies be part of the power they find along the way. So you become impermeable. Humaning is very, very hard work. Right? So don't you sometimes wish you could take the blue pill or the red pill? Which one was it that made you go back to sleep in the Matrix? It's not for the weak. It takes a lot of courage to human. Can I go back and take the other pill so I can just go back to sleep and play video games and read science fiction and just not worry about anything at all? We still get to not worry about stuff, but it's an awful lot of work staying awake. It's hard to stay awake. That's the thing. It takes a lot of attention and time to keep yourself awake. Not for the faint of heart. Yes, in your sleep. Or by taking specific recreational drugs. It's better than asleep. Yeah, being awake is better than asleep. It's not easy. It's lonely sometimes too, because a lot of people don't know what the heck you're talking about or where you're coming from. For some people, I'm not saying I'm lonely. I don't get lonely. I have a head full of voices to keep me company. Okay, let's see what Stephen Mitchell has to say about this. Governing a large country is like frying a small fish. You spoil it with too much poking. Center your country in the Tao, and evil will have no power. Not that it isn't there, but you'll be able to step out of its way. That's what we were just talking about. Give evil nothing to oppose, and it will disappear by itself. Evil, say, criticism from others, grabs onto you because part of you actually believes it and gets hurt by it. If you didn't believe it, you wouldn't get hurt by it. So when you get to the point where you understand that your opinion and God's opinions are the only ones that matter, you don't dance with it. You don't dance with it. You just step out of the way, or you absorb it in and it becomes part of you. If you have nothing to defend, it just disappears. People don't keep sending you negative energy or talking shit about you. If they know that it's not going to get to you, they quit. So understanding that people can say, like truly 100% understanding that people are going to talk crap about you, or they're going to respond negatively to your changes, and you know it's coming, so just get comfortable. Just accepting it. When I say absorb it in, so here's a real world example of that is you find out the blank look is priceless. You find out somebody's talking about you, and you're able to laugh it off. Or you feel someone sending like meanness toward you. You know by their face that they're thinking something crappy about you in the moment, and you just bring it in. You're like, it doesn't really matter what they're thinking. I visualize inhaling and it turning to light inside my own body. So if I become aware that someone's sending me negative energy, on a good day, I say, I welcome you. I understand you're confused. And I breathe it in and I breathe it out light. So I breathe it in, imagine it's light, and I breathe it back out as light and a blessing toward the person who's trying to hate on me. So when someone's trying to hate on you, they're really confused. They don't understand that their power belongs to them and they can access it, and they're trying to get your power instead. Because they're just confused. They've fallen asleep. Forgiveness blend is a fabulous blend, and I've misplaced mine. I don't know where it's at. I've been looking for it for a couple of weeks. I love that smell. So Roseanne mentioned the blank look. This is my friend, when I used to work with adolescents. Yeah, it's called forgiveness. A lot of the staff would come to me and this other woman who were senior workers, not, senior longevity workers, and try to get us to make the hard decisions for them. And then they weren't learning to step into their own power. Yes, breathing in. When it's a tough conversation, breathe in. Breathe in, breathe in, breathe out deeply, breathe in deeply. It keeps you centered and your own power. So these younger workers, when you work with people, you have to make hard decisions. When you work with people in child protective and social work settings, you have to make really hard decisions. And the responsibility is on you, and it can be a heavy burden to bear. So younger workers would come to us and want us to bear that burden for them, rather than them learning how to put your ass on the line, basically, and you just have to be able to stand by your decisions. So we kept getting our energy taken by coaching these younger workers, which it wasn't our job to do, and it was exhausting. So my friend Jeff taught me the blank look with this shoulder shrug. So he said, look at when they come toward me and ask me a question, this is what I do. I don't know. And so then they would go find one of you guys. So he said, if you start doing this, they'll move on and, go to their supervisor, who they should be going to. It works every time. So now when I'm recognizing that someone is pulling on me because they are not recognizing their own power, I do a lot of that. I don't know. Gosh, I hope you figure it out. Keep asking. Keep asking those questions. Works great with teens. I don't know. Go to the library. Go to the Google. I don't know. Yeah, they'll figure it out. So let's see what Byron Katie says about this. Sometimes acting stupid is the smartest thing you can do. Yeah, it works really well. Okay, 60. Give evil nothing to oppose and it will disappear by itself. Life is simple. Everything happens for you, not to you. Everything happens at exactly the right moment, neither too soon nor too late. You don't have to like it. It's just easier if you do. If you have a problem, it can only be because of your unquestioned thinking. How do you react when you believe that the past should have been different? I thought I had a bug on my leg. Ugh. You scare yourself stuck because what you resist persists. That's been an AA saying for so long. As long as I've been aware of language, I've heard that my whole life. What you resist persists. Now, I didn't take it and apply it until recently. But it's true. The more you fight against something, the more stuck you get, which goes back to where I started with the goal setting. The more you fight against the current reality, the more of that you'll have. It's the tar baby thing. Do you remember the tar baby story where the rabbit or whatever, is it Beatrix Potter? I don't think it's a Beatrix Potter story. It's an old story about running into tar and getting stuck. Yeah, it's an old story. I don't even know where it comes from. You keep your stressful world, a world that doesn't exist except in your imagination, and you get to stay in the nightmare. It hurts to oppose reality because in opposing Brer Rabbit, yes, thank you. Brer Rabbit. He gets stuck in the briar patch and all that. Yeah, he has a hard time, that little rabbit. Or, I'm sure I'm butchering the whole story of it. What does not resisting look like? Just expressing the negative in a safe way. I would say allowing yourself to express the negative and be okay with it. To allow yourself to, to allow yourself to love the parts of you that feel negative, to allow yourself to love the parts of other people that feel negative. Today is the first day I felt good in about 4 days. And so I did a lot of work with, and it's hormonal stuff. It's just typical for approaching 50, I think. But had I fought against it and judged myself for it today, I probably would still feel horrible. And instead, for 4 days, I just withdrew and did what I needed to do and spent a lot of quiet time. Did Reiki sessions. Those are, they're tiring, but they're good. They're good. They're tiring in a good way. Yeah, you're stating reality. This is what's happening. No judgment. And you just roll with it. And you love the parts of yourself that are grumpy. And you love the parts of yourself that don't like people on those days. And you love the parts of yourself that see everything negative and everybody. You know those days where you're just like, this whole thing sucks. You just love that part. And you just love that it's there and it is as it is, and by doing that, you don't waste a lot of energy because it is that way. That is how you feel. It's the truth. Stating the truth is always more effective than trying to weasel around and deny that you don't feel as bad as you actually do. Yeah, you just own it, and you do a lot of breathing. I can't stress that enough. If you're deep breathing, you stay centered even in a storm. Breathing brings to mind the things you need to do. Yeah, you're not trying to turn it into happiness. So you're not feeling your grumpy mood with an end goal in mind. If you have an agenda, you're still resisting. You're not fully accepting it. If you say, I'm going to accept my bad mood so that I can feel happy, you have an agenda there. So your body and your small self know what you're up to. They know, your shadow knows, the shadow knows, that you're still rejecting it because you're kind of giving it lip service. It's kind of patronizing in a way. Like, oh, I'm going to let you feel negative so that I can feel better. No. You accept it as a valid emotion in and of itself. He was like, wow, that's exhausting. You should try to be positive. The worst. Here's what will make me want to throat punch somebody so quick as if I get told to calm down. I'm going to feel my bad mood so that I can allow it to flow through me. Yes. I'm going to feel my bad mood because it deserves just as much attention as my good mood. I'm going to feel my bad mood because a downswing has equal validity as an upswing. I see what it is and it will pass. I'm fine. Yes. Yes. The wave coming in is has equal validity as the wave that's going out. And we have weighted it so heavily to where one is good and one is bad, and they're actually just the same wave. They're just energy. Don't shush me. Oh my God. If I get shushed, I become insane. First time I didn't feel like killing him for saying something like that. Yay! Yay for daily practice. I didn't want to kill my husband. Oh my God, my dad used to say the dumbest stuff. He said really good stuff. He also said dumb stuff too, like, why don't you just take a walk? When I get depressed, I just take a walk. Their heads are compartmentalized. Their stuff is in little boxes, and one box doesn't cross into the other box, and our heads are bowls of spaghetti. Right. Why don't you just take a walk? I wanted to be like, why don't you just shut your face, Dad? Why don't you just stop talking now? It's the most useless advice ever to give someone who's depressed. Just take a walk. Whatever, Dad. Shut up. That's how you know. Yeah, men are waffles, women are spaghetti. He told you needed a timeout? Did you say you can go live in the cabin now? Or the office? Yeah, I bet. You need a timeout. Yeah, things men say that are not effective at all. Don't shush. Don't say, just calm down. That's another one. Just calm down. You calm down, motherfucker. It's the worst. So, Linda, I'm glad that your daily practice allowed you to recognize that he was just saying what he was saying and it didn't mean anything. They are trying to be helpful. They see us suffering and they don't want us to be in pain. That's what's underneath all that. A man can hardly stand it if his woman is in pain. So they'll do and say whatever they think is going to work, not understanding that they just poured gasoline on a fire and now they don't know what to do. Your husband just shuts down, which pisses you off more because you want to argue. Yeah, they just want to fix everything. Their intentions are good. Their methods of execution of their tools, if they even have any tools, is sometimes not so good. When you know how to question your thoughts, there's no resistance. They do, because they don't know what to do. They've tried something, it's backfired on them, so then they're going to shut down, because now they don't know where to go next. They're like, oh, well, I tried, and I just got my head bit off, so the safest thing for me to do is shut up. They don't know. They don't know unless we teach them. So if you have sons, teach them how to communicate. If you have daughters, teach them to expect communication. There's no resistance when you question your thoughts. Try again. They need desire mapping. Yes, we need to understand them. If we can understand how their brain works and that it's not personal, they're not doing it on purpose, the safest thing to do for them in those moments is to shut the hell up, even if it makes us even more mad that they're shutting down. What else are they going to do? They can't handle it. They have to. We haven't given them any other options. Because if they keep talking, it's just going to get worse, even though, because we want the argument sometimes, and that's not good for us either. I've been there. The thing that used to aggravate me the most about my husband, if we were arguing, he could go to bed and sleep like a baby, and I'd be up all night. He really just wants to make it better. Yeah. Yeah, bless their hearts. They're doing the exact opposite of making it better. But their intentions are generally good. Okay. When you question your thoughts, there's no resistance. Because they're compartmentalized. They close the argument box and open the sleep box. They're not therapists. Yeah. Yes. You look forward to your worst nightmare because it turns out to be nothing but an illusion, and the 4 questions of the work provide you with the skills to go inside and realize that. And the 4 questions are, is it true what I'm thinking? Is it true? Yeah, it's true. They close the argument box, they open the sleep box, and they go to sleep. Then in the morning, they open the go to work box, and they don't even think about the argument, and you've been up all night, and you're ready to really kill them. The 4 questions are, is it true? You say your shoulds, and then you ask yourself if it's true. And then, is it really true? And then, who would you be without that thought? Like, how would you feel how do you feel when you think that thought? And how would you feel if you let that thought go? And then you turn it around on yourself. Every should you're handing out to someone else, you turn that around. Yeah, to yourself. Because what we're shoulding for other people is information actually for ourselves. Yeah, definitely. Okay. So 19 years ago, a doctor removed a tumor from my face. I had found inquiry. Inquiry had found me, so I didn't have a problem with the tumor. I was happy to see it come, and I was happy to see it go. It was actually quite a sight, and I loved being out there in public. People would look at it, pretend not to be looking, and that tickled me. Maybe a girl would stare at it, her parents would whisper and yank her away. Did they think they would hurt my feelings, or that I was some sort of freak? I didn't feel like one. The tumor on my face was normal for me. It was reality. Sometimes I would catch someone looking at it, then look away, then after a while look again, back and forth. Finally our eyes would meet and we'd both laugh. Because I saw the tumor without a story, eventually he could see it that way too, and it was just funny. Everything turns out to be a gift. That's the point. Everything you saw as a handicap turns out to be the extreme opposite. But you can only know this by staying in your integrity, by going inside and finding out what your own truth is, not the world's truth, not your husband's truth or your wife's truth. Your truth. And then all is revealed to you. There isn't anything you have to do. The only thing you're responsible for is your own truth in the moment, and inquiry is the process that brings you to that. So asking those questions, how can I see this differently? How can I see this from this other person's point of view? She is. Dang it. A lot of questions in arguments that are good to ask are, here's what I meant. What did you hear me say? Here's what I heard you say. Is that what you meant to say? Is that what you meant? Like, were you trying to tell me that my emotions are invalid? Is that what you're trying to say? Don't ask it in that tone. Questions are key. Yes, I know, right? Love to hate her. So I once did the work with a woman who was ashamed of her fingers. Oh, actual communication. Oh, I got it. Yeah, okay. Yeah, actual communication. Actual using of your skills. And if you don't have those skills, go take a basic communication class. So she did the work with a woman who was ashamed of her fingers. She had developed rheumatoid arthritis when she was 17, and she believed her fingers were deformed. They weren't normal, and she suffered a lot from that belief. She was embarrassed even to let people see them. But her fingers were normal. Yeah, is that what you intended? Yes. When you say, fill in the blank, I feel, fill in the blank. When you say this, I feel that. Or when you say this, I hear that. Is that what you meant? Is that what you intended to say? Like, what's your intention behind those words? Because here's what I'm hearing. And here's how it's making me feel. When you this, I, that. Her fingers were normal for her. They were the fingers she had woken up with every morning since she was 17. For 27 years, they were her normal fingers. She just hadn't noticed. How do you react when you believe the thought that something isn't normal for you? So how do you react when you believe that something about you is wrong? Your size, your shape, your nose, your whatever. We all got my dad's crooked nose in one way or another. Actually, I don't think Catherine, your nose isn't crooked. But mine and Jen's noses are crooked, and that came straight from my dad. Thank you very much. But we also got the hair, or I got the hair, so it's okay. I'll take it. But if I think that my nose isn't normal, or if I worry about it, then I experience shame, sadness, and despair. How do you react when you believe that what's normal for you isn't? Shame, sadness, and despair. Who would you be without the thought? Yeah, Catherine didn't get the crooked nose. You would be at ease with your condition and loving it, whatever it is, because you'd realize it's completely normal for you. So I'm going to say that again. How do you react when you believe that what is not normal? shame, sadness, and despair. And who would you be without that thought that what is wrong, that there's something wrong with you? You would be at ease with your condition and love it, whatever it is, because you would realize it's completely normal for you. So then when other people notice what you consider a problem, it hurts you until you completely accept that it's normal for you and you're okay with it. Then their noticing of it no longer hurts. Even if 99% of other people look a different way, their normal isn't your normal. This is your normal. That dear woman's argument with reality caused her suffering, not her fingers. You've seen rheumatoid arthritis maybe where, the fingers do get like really gnarled and twisted. And her belief that that was something to feel shame about was ruining her life. But it was just inside her own head. Yes. It's the ego constantly comparing ourselves to others that creates this story that we're not normal, as if there was a normal, and as if that would be something you'd want to achieve. I need to respond to an email about a concept of being an outsider on the fringe, not particularly fitting in with any of the larger groups, Nina. I would rather be on the fringe, and that's not a rejection of people who do kind of all fit together. You look back about when you were a teenager, oh my God, the criticism we do to ourselves when we're a teenager. You have so many hang-ups about how you looked. So here's the thing, is when I feel like I'm on the fringe of a group, you can't get rid of it. You just bring it in. I seem to find other people who feel like they're on the fringe. So then, are we really outside? We found each other. Yeah, it's comfortable because that's where your people are. The other fringe people are on the fringe. And they're like, I feel like I'm always on the fringes. And you're like, I feel that way too. Well, now you're not outsider anymore. The teenage mind is incredibly cruel. The teenage mind is ego at its most rampant self. There's no higher faculties to evaluate thought very well. The frontal cortex isn't even fully developed till we're 25 or 26 years old. So no wonder we do stupid stuff. We literally can't think. They do it with teens. I've done it with teens. It's incredibly empowering for them. I've done this work with teens. Byron Katie's work is not new. She packaged it up in a really cool way to do it. But it's rational emotive behavioral therapy. And, they totally get it. They get it. But who's teaching them that? No one's teaching them that, hey, buddy, it's not your peer group upsetting you. It's your thoughts about the peer group that's upsetting you. Rational emotive behavioral therapy, you can look that up. Shakespeare talks about this. It's the thinking that makes it so. It's not what you're perceiving. It's the thinking that makes it so. I think that's Shakespeare. It might be somebody else. Marcus Aurelius talks about it. Thousands of Jesus talks about it. It's old. We've known, I guess, probably throughout time that our thoughts are what are making the problems. And thank God the knowledge keeps getting passed down so that every generation has access to it. Yeah, but they always have. You're hearing it more, maybe, but the discussion has always been there throughout time, as long as our recorded history, as far as I know. Give us permission through you to have a flaw. Give us permission through you to have a flaw, because flaws are the norm. Yeah, you're ready to hear it, so now you're hearing it everywhere. But it's always been there. That's the radio dial concept, right? Yeah, you're not alone in this humanness. you can only hear what your radio dial is tuned to. So if you're tuned to a country station, you can't hear NPR. And then this process of shifting over to a different radio station opens up a whole new world to you. Abraham Hicks talks about that a lot. You can't have your radio set on 99.1 and hear what's coming out of 105.7. It's literally not possible. You literally can't hear it because you're not tuned to that frequency. Radios are, you're accessing frequencies of sound. Energy is no different. You're accessing frequencies of energy. And our minds have to organize it somehow, or we'd go insane. But the truth is, those sound waves are all one thing. They're separate and they're one. Radio waves are the best analogy I know of for energy and water, different currents in water. Yeah, so if you want to hear the whole thing, you don't narrow down and focus on a particular channel, station. You hear the whole thing and it sounds like a chorus, and that has happened to me only a few times, but it sounds like a beautiful chorus. You'd think it would sound like utter and complete cacophony of sound, but it's not. It's a chorus. But then to function and to choose and pick and experience different things, you have to narrow that down to one frequency at a time. That's what these tools are. Where is your frequency tuned? What are you hearing? You're in control of what you hear. You're in control of what you experience, but you have to be aware of where are you tuning your dial to. And that's the process of staying awake. And that's the part that can get tricky. Flaws are normal. To be flawed is normal. There is no one on the planet that has no flaws. No one. Even the people who've had so much plastic surgery they think they don't look flawed, look incredibly flawed. Hi. From 100 feet away. Not even, he's probably like 20 feet away. Okay, give us permission through you to have a flaw, because flaws are the normal. When you hide your flaws, you teach us to hide ours. Oh, well, if she's worried about her size, I should probably be worried about my size. They're still flawed. Those boobs are not real. And a lot of them have flat butts. Wait, what? I'm not perfect? Who wants a flat butt? You know what I mean? Like, there's always something. There's always something. Victoria's Secret models are not perfect either. Most of those women, the most insecure women I've ever known, have been the most beautiful. The most beautiful women are often so deeply insecure. Because they feel like that's all they've got. And you sure don't want to be friends with one as they're approaching middle age, because they go to pieces. An apple bottom butt. Your favorite topic is being talked about. Heath.
Huh?
Yeah. So when we shame ourselves, yeah, they think that's all they've got. So when their looks start to go, they get really upset. Yes. If you feel ashamed of your flaws, then I'm going to pick that up and feel ashamed of mine. So that's what women do to their daughters when they're always on a diet. They're saying to their daughters, you should be ashamed of your body, and here's how that looks. And you should torture your body and eat weird foods and not eat enough and over-exercise, and here's how that looks. Let me show you how to be ashamed of your body. That's how that happens. Yes. Our kids pick it up. And we can't be perfect. We do the best we can. I love to say that we are just waiting for one teacher, just one, to give us permission to be who we are now. I love to say that we are just waiting for one teacher, just one, to give us permission to be who we are right now, here, not when we get over there. We can be loved right here. We don't have to get over there and then we can feel love. Nope. You appear as this, big or small, straight or bent. That's such a gift to give. The pain is in withholding it. Who else is going to give us permission to be free if not you? We have to give ourselves as a group permission to each other to feel free. And we do that by giving ourselves the permission to feel free and then demonstrating it, modeling it in the world. People freak out if I reference my size. If I say something about being fat, and I have no problem with the word fat, people freak out about that. Oh, stop. Oh my God, you guys do it all the time. Oh, stop. Your stories get activated sometimes by the things I say. My stories get activated by the things I hear other people say. We're activating each other all the time, and it's such a gift. Yeah, you guys freak out if I say something about being fat. I'm going to let you in on a secret. I'm bad. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Whatever you judge, it's okay. Yeah, we do it to each other all the time. So when someone's activating you, yes, because we've been taught that that's a bad, bad word. It's a bad, bad word to say. It's a bad, bad thing to be. We've been taught a lot of stuff about that word. The nice thing about, or fat, it depends on your own comfort level with the word. If fat's uncomfortable, I like to say fat because it triggers people, and the evil part of me thinks it's funny. The naughty, see, Tonka is me. And not to eat fat, yes, but we have to have some. Yeah, the naughty part of me loves watching people's faces if you say the word fat. Right. I am. I want to bring it, I like to bring it to people's attention. Like, listen, all your stories just activated. Did you hear that? I heard them. Click, 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 click. Everyone's stories just activated. Group work is the best. In-person group work is even better because you can watch people's faces change. Oh gosh. Give yourself permission for your own sake and we'll follow you. We're a reflection of your thinking. And when you free yourself, we all become free. When you find peace, I get to find more peace. When I find peace, you get to find more peace. The space. Right, yeah, that one. Oh. Yeah, emojis help. You can actually hear it. You can feel it in the energy. Right? You can feel the collective gasp when all of a sudden everyone's stories get activated on the same thing. You can feel everyone goes and stops breathing. Yeah. But I learned a lot about not feeling shame about my emotions because I was friends with a woman who had no shame at all. None. She owned that she manipulated the hell out of her boyfriend, and she also owned that it was something that, I don't know, she kind of said she was working on it, but she didn't really, that I could tell. But she owned it. She was like, yeah, I say this, and I know he'll do that, and I was like, oh my God, that's horrible. That was my story about it. But she owned it, and when she had mean thoughts about somebody, she just owned it, and it was a great example for me. Her giving herself permission. Yes. Her giving herself permission to verbally own the naughty parts of herself, the mean parts, the mean girl parts. She was very beautiful and had a lot of mean girl, but she owned it. And it's not someone I would have a relationship with now because, it's uncomfortable to be around someone like that. But she taught me well about it's okay to own those parts that are devious and manipulative and that use sex as a weapon, that use tears as a weapon, that, think horrible things about people. Yeah, our facial, we can look mean when we stand firm on boundaries. Sometimes you need to look mean. But her giving herself permission to own those parts gave me permission to bring those parts of me into the light and not feel so ashamed of the part of me that sometimes thinks mean things or does sometimes mean things. So that's what I mean. Like, we give each other permission. If I demonstrate in my own life an acceptance of something, then I teach everyone around me that if they want to, they can accept themselves as well. That doesn't happen until I find it in myself and then start living it. Yeah, that it's okay. It's okay to own your mean girl. She's in there. Thanks. I can't do it any other way because my goal is to live an authentic life. And if my slogging my way through my daily grind helps, then great. It gives me the inspiration to keep going for myself, which then trickles down and benefits others. Yeah, I love the word authentic. That's how Ben was using the word pure. Ben Moore, Tanya's husband. Purity in I want to say untainted, but maybe untainted, but absolute pure emotion, whatever that emotion is. Absolute purity in the color of your being, whatever that color is for the day. So for 4 days, it was like black and various shades of gray, although I hate using the word shades of gray now because of those god-awful books. But you know what I mean? Like, and that's the purity, that's the truth. The pure truth is the last 4 days were gray and black and dark. And today is a lighter shade of gray. A whiter shade of gray, Van Morrison. No, a whiter shade of pale? No. A whiter shade of gray. I don't really like Van Morrison, that's the problem. I can't remember. Ugh. I tried really hard. I couldn't. But I shouldn't judge because I've read every single book in the Twilight series more than once. And those books were horrible. So, I'll own it. Yeah, I read the Twilight series and I loved it. What's it to you? I loved those books. They were every little teenage girl's dream. Right? The little 14-year-old part of me loved those books. So, it always comes back to acceptance. Accepting where you are now. Imagining how you want to feel if you're reaching towards something. Yeah, I skipped a lot of it. It's just, the writing is not very good. The writing in books like that is dependent on the sex in them. So you start, skipping the crappy storytelling and just read the sex parts. Love the necessary hard work about this humaning. I love how Michelle said that. This humaning is hard. It's hard. It is. Love the necessary hard work of humaning. Love it because it ain't going nowhere. You might as well love it. Because to hate it is to split yourself apart again. Right? Am I right? Okay, I'm done too. I'm wrapping up. Have a great day at work. Love you guys. I love you all. Thanks for being a part of my day. It makes my day wonderful ever since August 29th. Every day. I've missed 3 days since August 29th. So every single day I get the benefit of this, and I appreciate your presence so much, and your input and your questions. You're welcome. Thank you. I love you, and I'll see you tomorrow. Yay! Oh, I wish I could come. Bye, all you jelly beans. Cindy, I wish I could come on your walk with you. I love the pictures that you've been posting of your walk. Okay, I gotta go.